do what it's supposed to. It's the one time it doesn't do it. Sometimes I really wait a while on this deal. But he's walking around outside, so I'm assuming he's okay. I wouldn't be walking if it's scaffolding fell on me. Not till tomorrow. I would assume that it would be better to take that break that your body's telling you. And my sound is off for yesterday. There we go. So good morning. I'm Judge Person. I'm going to be a little bit repetitive until I make sure that everybody's audio or most people's audio is connected. I want to welcome everybody to the Temple Municipal Court. We're here live in the convenience of wherever you happen to be. Still going to be a useful tool for us for now. You're always welcome to come in for live court, but that's a different kind of line. As long as we're able to, I'm going to keep doing certain things this way to make it convenient, because I know that it addresses, the stress of coming to court for some folks. It's helpful. So if that's a problem for you, just let me know, and we'll rearrange what we're doing. But for now, I'm going to assume and give it a go. I am welcome everyone here. Probably just, the basic rules we sent out to your email, but the main thing is just keep in mind that even if you don't see yourself on screen, I can see everyone the whole time. And just be aware of that. Sometimes I realize in what I'm seeing that people are not aware of that. Okay, and so another thing I want to let you know is, this is a Class C court. When you come into this court, the cases that are filed here are Class C offenses, and they result in the imposition of fines and costs. They normally don't result in jail time, although folks can have warrants. Warrants are here. Warrants happen because either you didn't show up for court, or you had a court order to do something like turn in a class or make a payment, and it wasn't done on time. What I want to highlight about this part of the conversation, the one-way conversation, is that just keep in mind that if there's an order like a payment plan, if you miss a deadline, you're subject to warrant. So don't miss the deadline. Come in and talk to a clerk and we'll see what we can do. Okay. Sometimes there are ways to address things that happen for folks. But we won't know to respond to an event that we don't know is happening for you. Sometimes we can do it through an email, a letter. Sometimes we can set it like this. Sometimes we come on in to talk about it. There's just a variety of ways to avoid that warrant. And I don't really need to issue them if I'm communicating with you most of the time. Okay, so that's just a general overview. If there's several dockets happening at once, I don't schedule different events, because if I did that and no one showed up on one docket and everyone showed up on another, I'm wasting everyone's time. So I just lob it all in and work with everybody wherever their case is. So I'll be checking in with you at the beginning of your time, and I will make sure that we're on the same page before we move forward today. The next thing I want to tell you is that if your case is what we call open, if you have not been subject to a sentencing event, then you have the opportunity before your plea is accepted by the court to go ahead and meet with an attorney of your choice. In Class C courts, we don't court appoint counsel, but we do give you time. So it would be a reschedule, and it doesn't mean you hire someone. It means you check in and see if you're going to do so. So if you have already been sentenced, that can include that you sent $1 in Texas, the way that works. But if you're already sentenced, it's generally not a delay if your legal advice at that point was waived. Another thing I've got people coming in late. Another thing that I want to let you know is when you're given that ticket or issued a citation, those are methods we have under the law for accusing someone. Okay. So that's what a ticket is. It's an accusation. And when you give a plea, you're giving your answer, your response to that accusation. And there are 3 options for pleading. guilty, not guilty, and no contest. Guilty means I did this. Not guilty is just letting the state know they need to prove their case, which indirectly means asking for trial. And the third option, no contest, is a way to move forward with sentencing without admitting the offense and agreeing, or denying the offense and contesting it. So not contesting, move forward with sentencing. Not guilty is move to trial. Guilty is admitting, move forward with sentencing. So if you plead guilty or no contest, you're moving forward with sentencing. If you plead not guilty, you're moving forward with trial. Two different directions, and either is fine. It's just a question of docketing it properly so that I make sure the case is moving forward like it's supposed to. Okay, so let's talk just a brief moment about the pretrial docket. That's for not guilty pleas. That's meeting today. If your case at the time that we set this meeting, your case was also set for a final pretrial. With the final pretrial, you come into court, we do some preliminary pre-trial matters, and we schedule court, and we all get on the same page about your rights and duties at that time and the state's rights and duties at that time. Okay, so if today the case gets resolved for whatever reason, that we cancel that date. If the case is not resolved, we're here on that date. Sometimes there's an agreement between you and the state about something that's going to happen between now and then, but I, as the judge, don't always get involved in that. When that happens, we expect to see you on your final date for pretrial here, unless I cancel it. Okay, so that's another thing just to be aware of. Then the thing I want to move over to is if you plead guilty or no contest, or you have pled guilty or no contest, generally speaking, you pay the fines and costs and the item goes on your record. Now, payment of fines and costs, let's back up for a moment. I look at people's income. I look for it in connection with sentencing on that docket. Over here in the not guilty docket, I look for it in terms of, what's the bond set amount for bond for trial. And often it's not a cash bond, but I have to get income information to, establish what we need to do there. So I do ask for that information from everyone, but I'm using it for two different processes. Okay. It's a simple form and you were asked to fill it out. And I hope, and I'll have it here if you did so. Okay. It helps me make better decisions on your case. I know that it can be off-putting for people that they have to give me that information, but really what I'm trying to do is be fair, just, and equitable with that information in a couple of different settings, if you will. Okay, so in the context of sentencing, I'm looking at it in connection with your sentence and seeing if I need to make some kind of adjustment there. Okay, that's one thing you need to be aware of. Now, having it go on your record, let me give you some basic information there. And again, I'm not giving you legal advice. The difference is I'm not applying it to your case. You can do that, or you can hire someone to do that. I can't give you advice. I can tell you how things move through a court. Okay. And at the Class C level, if you plead guilty or no contest, you have 4 ways to gain a dismissal. I'll tell you what they are, tell you how they work very briefly, and then we're going to move pretty quickly. But I find if I had to do this for, all the people here, it would take a lot longer than if I do it once now. So compliance dismissals, driver safety course options, deferred dispositions, and teen court are all ways to keep an item off of your record. Compliance dismissals are things that can be brought up to date and dismissed. An example would be your headlight is broken. You don't know it's broken. You're pulled over and given a ticket for a broken headlight. You come in on time to court. You have proof that it's been fixed that I can put in my file. You pay a $10 dismissal fee because it's called a defective equipment case. And your case is dismissed and you paid $10, and it's not on your record and it's done. Okay. So that's a compliance dismissal. There are about 14 of those. They're generally in the traffic code. And I'm not going to tell you all 14 right now because it takes too long. Ask me about it if you're interested or curious. But what you need to understand about my behavior as the judge is that I'll be looking to see if you have one of those, and I'll be seeing if you're eligible for dismissal. You can make generally an assumption about that, but if you want to ask me about it, do when it's your turn, because it's your case and you have the right to ask questions. Okay. If you ask me a question that I'm not allowed to answer because it's legal advice, I will just tell you I can't answer that. It's legal advice. I can't give it. But don't be worried about, is it the right question? I know that people get nervous about court and they wonder, what am I saying? Am I saying it the right way? Am I saying what I'm supposed to say? And the answer is, it's your case. And, if we can be respectful with one another, I don't see a problem. Just ask because you're here for yourself. Okay. We call that pro se. You are representing yourself. 99% of the people that I talk to every day in court do so. So it's not unusual. Okay. All right. I'll move forward. Moving violations. That's the second one I mentioned. Moving violations can be dismissed through a driver safety course. A driver safety course means you get the proper course done on time, your driving record turned in on time, the right record, the right course, and you get a dismissal. Now, let me back up real quick. You've got to qualify and be eligible to be in that program. If you are, and then you pay the court costs and show current insurance and the proper license, we move you forward. And by the way, all this information is available on the website for the city under the municipal courts tab. But some of us aren't visual. Some of us didn't know it was there. So I'm hitting the highlights. On the moving violation, though, the highlight here is, one, I'll be looking again to see if you might be eligible, and I'll be kind of pushy because I'm supposed to try to do that. If it looks like you might be eligible, okay. Two, you pay the court costs. Now, money is like no one's favorite topic ever, but I talk about it every day, all day. So with every ticket, there's a court cost and a fine. And if you call the clerk and said, how much is this ticket? You were given this whole number, okay? But it breaks down, like there's a bunch of different ways you can break it down. But for purposes of our conversation right now, with the moving violation, there's a court cost and a fine. The fine is set by the judge of the court. That would be me. The court cost is set by the Texas legislature. That would be your elected official in Austin. Guess which one I can't control? Right, the costs. So you pay the court costs, always. I have to collect it. And they're not insubstantial. It ranges from about 144 to 169 of that ticket, of that whole number you might have been given, okay? But if you sign up for the program, you're eligible, you sign up, you pay the court costs, and you turn in your record and your course on time, right record, right course on time. Your ticket is dismissed. It doesn't go on your driving record as a moving violation. And the fine, it's just on hold. That gets waived and you don't pay it. And it's cheaper to do that and get a dismissal than to pay the whole ticket and have it go on your record, because we know that people drive better when they take the course, and about once a year. And so that's what the law provides for. So I'll be looking at it, but you can ask and just assume that I'm also looking. That's the main thing I want to highlight. Now, the third option for dismissal is a deferred disposition. Deferred, we often call it in municipal courts. Deferred means to delay. Disposition means to dispose of or make final. I delay making your case final. I put a court order in place. The court order spells out in writing what you have to do to gain a dismissal. If you do the spelled out things in writing, that's why we put it in writing. I dismiss your ticket, okay? It doesn't go on your record. You do have to sort out payment of fines and costs. Your record might be something that we need to get, or some other document, or a class, or an essay. There are things to do. The biggest thing is not to reoffend. Don't get warrants, don't get arrested, etc. Like, just don't reoffend. Payment of fines and costs. And sometimes there's a +1 or 2 of things to turn in. And you've got to keep your address current and keep up with your case. It's your duty to do so. But the question really is, how do I get that? And the answer is, unlike the first two, I'm not looking for it. You have to ask. That's driven by you. So guilty or no contest, I'd like a deferred. In a Class C court, you get to ask the judge. You also can ask the prosecutor in a pretrial setting. If you and the prosecutor come to an agreement about a deferred and bring it to me, I'm about 98% certain I would sign that, because when two people agree, I normally would say, why would I get in the middle of it other than to, do my job? And I generally approve those. But so you can go to the prosecutor with that request. You also, on a plea of guilty or no contest, can ask me. Okay. And that's an exception. It's different. If you've ever watched a proceeding over at county or district courts, the prosecutor is always involved. That's not true in a Class C court. It can be true for certain cases. It might be required. If you've got a case like that and you make a request for deferred, I'll let you know we got to get a Hail Mary, Mother May I from the prosecutor on this one and see if they agree. And they may or may not. The prosecutor is not obligated to come to that agreement. Okay. And I'm not required to agree with you or the prosecutor, but we do the best we can and we give it a full hearing before we make decisions, or an appropriate hearing anyway. Okay, so that's the 101 on deferred, but the real deal is guilty or no contest. I'd like a deferred is the way that you get that. Okay, but you ask that. I won't be asking, and if you don't, I assume you don't want to do that. Okay. Okay, fourth thing, I said there were four. We have a teen court program for students of middle school, high school, homeschool, or GED programs. If I think you're a student, I'll be talking to you about it. If you're a student and I don't know, let me know, because it's a beneficial program. Okay. And that's enough. I'll work with you individually. It's a little bit different. It looks a little like a deferred, but the burden is on the young person as opposed to a parent to just pay a ticket. If a parent pays a ticket, I'm more likely to see that student again. If you work through a program where you take responsibility, I'm less likely to see you. I'm less likely to see you than any other option that we have. So I drive it kind of intensely because I know that it works. But, nothing about these options prohibits you from going online and just paying your ticket 99% of the time. So I am assuming that most people here are engaged and interested, or they wouldn't be here. So I'm giving you a lot of information as a result. Now we're going to move forward, and I was watching as people logged in, so I know who kind of got here first, if you will. There's a proverbial line, and I've got it logged down for the pretrial and for my docket, and I will begin on that. Mr. Matson is the city's prosecutor. He represents the city. He's like the DA for the city. He's not my employee. He answers his chain of command, if you will, is the city attorney's office. But he does appear in this court as an assignment, and therefore, I can schedule him to be here, and he is here. And I do want Mr. Matson to just get on screen by verbally activating it and introducing himself. Please do so at this time.
Good morning, everyone.
Okay, thank you. The main thing to know is that he is, we must have a connection thing, because I'm getting all kinds of notices that we've gone live, which we did before I let everybody in. So I'm sorry, it distracted me for a moment. Okay, so I'm going to start that situation. And what that's going to look like is I will move Mr. Matson over to a breakout room, and then you'll meet with him. But remember that he represents the state and not you. Okay. Mr. Matson, the first person I have on your list is Nathan Hamner. Nathan Hamner, can you unmute so that we know that your audio is working?
I'm here.
Thank you very much. I'll move you over to that meeting. After that meeting, you'll come back over here, because I have a few things to just check in with you about before you go today. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you very much. And there you go. I too will move forward. I have a couple of check-in pieces first, though. Just quickly, I have a person, maybe like a white vest, named iPhone, and I just sent you an unmute request. Glasses, could you unmute and tell me your name?
Erica Scoggins.
Thank you very much. And I had a person, let me rename you. I had a person named Drea's phone, and I assumed it was Andrea Quintero, but I just want to make sure. Is that you?
Yes, ma'am.
Perfect. Okay, thank you. And then I have a Zoom user, a young person with kind of a gold shirt on, glasses. Can you tell me your name?
Mariah Pippins.
What's the last name?
Pippins Infante.
Gotcha. Thank you very much. Okay, we'll be with everyone shortly. And one person at a time. I would like to start with Tyler Rodriguez. Tyler Rodriguez, can you first unmute and tell me how you're doing? And then I want to see about getting you on screen.
Good morning, Judge Persons.
Hi.
I'm doing pretty well.
Good.
How about yourself? My video,
Okay.
for some reason it's restricted, and I couldn't get that figured out before I got here.
Okay. Just tell me, I just need to kind of check in and make sure. Can you give me your date of birth?
11/29/2003.
And can you tell me not your street, but the number on the house?
1317.
Okay. We did send a pre-warrant, and I have you as age 19. It's a speeding charge from May 21st of 2023. And what I want to ask you first is, I did receive I received a speeding charge, 77 and a 45. I received a plea of no contest. Is that your plea at this time?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And then I also received a request for a deferral. One thing I want you to know about deferrals is that if you were 25 or under, Texas law requires that you do a driving safety course regardless.
Yes, ma'am.
Which I think is helpful here, because I think, you're over the legal amount for, even had you been on time to court, I don't think that you wouldn't have been qualified for a regular course, but you would still have to do one if I grant a deferred.
Okay.
Making you aware of that. And then I had a request to pay $100 a month, but no income, and bills were, bills. And I just don't know, how would you, I'm open, I've got options, but are you moving into a different position? Are you able to make payment? Was payment a challenge? What's going on?
So right now, right this second, I'm currently unemployed. But I do have the money to pay all the fees. Like, cost isn't an issue. That's completely fine. And it's not like I have like all the money for the fees, everything covered. But I would like to request a deferred disposition if possible. If not, I completely understand, because it's like,
Yeah, it's go ahead.
I've got the funds to go ahead and cover it if need be, kind of thing. So and whatnot.
Yeah. Okay. So it's not a pay to play. I mean, I'm going to grant the deferred. If you're able to pay today, then we can just take that piece off the table, and that's easiest. Is that possible?
I would like it not to go on my record if possible, but
yeah, I'm talking about your deferred.
Oh, yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Okay.
So let me back up and just kind of clarify what I just said.
Okay.
I'm already granting the deferred.
Okay. I didn't hear that part. Sorry.
I'm granting it regardless of ability to pay.
Okay.
I don't actually consider ability to pay when I do deferreds.
Okay.
And I'm addressing kind of, you mentioned it in your conversation with me that, that seemed connected to you. It's actually not. Okay. But we do need to take care of it. So it's sort of a factor in what the deferred needs to look like. So if you're able to pay it today, that takes care of one of the things I'm going to require you to do. Is it possible to do that payment today?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
It's the $287 I was told.
284.
284. Okay, that's
yes.
Not it.
So
Yes,
you'll do it online, and there, because you're out of town, maybe.
yes, ma'am.
So there might be some fees online.
Okay.
The deferred will run from today until November 17th.
Okay.
You'll have to complete a driver safety course by September 19th.
Okay.
We will send you course information for how to find a course. I will take any online course that's like a 6-hour normal type of course for driving safety, the driving safety option.
Okay.
And as long as you don't get more tickets, you'll have the case dismissed.
Okay.
So I'll grant your deferred request. It runs from today until November 17th with payment today, a course due September 19th. No warrants, no tickets, no additional offenses. If I email this to you, can you email it back to me with your signature attached?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Can we use the email that we used to sign up for the meeting today?
Yes, ma'am. It may be a little bit later today because I ran out of printer here, so I'm gonna have to contact my mom at her job and have her bring it over.
Okay.
But I will be able to get that done today. Yes, I will be
Okay.
able to bring you back today.
Okay. As long as we get it today,
Yes, ma'am.
that's fine. That'll remove it from this docket today. Okay. Do you have any questions?
Not that I know of. Other than where do I go to pay the costs? Would that-
Okay, so yeah, so if you go onto the Temple Municipal Court, Temple, Texas Municipal Courts tab, your deferred is already, I just signed it. You can already
Okay.
set it up. You can make payment. Once you receive your document, you'll have, your case number and everything if you don't already have it.
Okay.
And you can make payment online or you can call a clerk. The number to call the clerk is 254 298
298.
5687.
All right.
And they can help you if you have trouble with that.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Any additional questions?
Not that I can think of.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Rodriguez.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Let's see. Okay. I'm moving forward. Spencer Walker, can you unmute and tell me how you're doing?
How you doing? I'm doing okay today.
Good, good. Are you, let's see, just to kind of confirm, are you able to get on the screen?
Let me try. Okay, is it up?
Yes, thank you. Okay, I have 2 charges. One, the earliest one is November 26th, and that one is a stop sign charge. November 26th of 2020. It does have a warrant for non-appearance. It's a stop sign charge. It has fines and costs of $499.20. And I did receive a no contest plea on that charge. Is that your plea at this time?
Yes, I want to do no contest deferred or community service.
Okay, those are all different things. They're not
Okay.
ors. Okay, so you're requesting a deferred on that charge?
How do you request a community service?
So I just look at your income debt ratio that you provided, and I do have some questions about that.
Okay.
That's a separate question from whether I grant a defer. Okay.
Okay.
I'm about to consider your community service request because you did write it down, but I'm trying to get through and make sure that pleading and moving into sentencing is what I'm supposed to be doing. So I just go in the legal order of things. I'll circle back on that stop sign charge with the deferred request in a moment. I also received a speeding charge for you for June 8th of 2023. Fines and costs are $259. And I received a no contest plea. Is that your plea at this time?
Yes. The
Okay.
no contest deferred. Yes.
Okay, I'm not sure I might grant it on one. Let me look at a few things real quick. Your son lives with you?
Yes.
And let's see, you are the only income to your household?
Yes.
The enough lock net call, that loan, is that a car payment? What is that?
Which one is that?
I don't really know how to say it. Lock
Oh,
net
payday. Oh, short term.
payday loan. How much longer do you have?
I think a year.
And then there's World Finance. I know that one, same thing. How long do you have on that?
I think that one, 4 months.
And then Jora is the same thing.
Yes.
A year, how long?
I think that one is a year.
And op loan, is that a payday loan?
Yes.
And how long?
That one I think is 6 months.
Your son, is he graduated? Did he graduate?
Yeah, he graduated this year.
What's he gonna do next?
He's called it a down year, so he's gonna work and try to get everything together so he can go to college next year.
Okay. Is he working?
Yeah, he just started at Petco.
Okay. And no other children in the home?
No.
Okay. Do you drive to your job?
Yes.
Oh, where are
Well,
you
well, um, I
disabled?
right,
Retired.
right, and then also I've been trying to start my own company, so I have been getting around a little bit trying to work that way.
What kind of business do you do?
Maintenance, property maintenance.
A lot of property in Waco. So
Yes.
hopefully that will help you. Okay. Um, the payday loans always present a challenge for me in terms of declaring folks indigent, because loans aren't really considered, but I know what those come from. Did you have just a period of difficulty? It sounds like last year was a hard
Yeah.
time.
Yes.
Okay. And just talk to me a little bit about your disability. I don't need the hardest details, but just generally what's going on with that.
I have sciatic nerve, corporal tunnel, and a slight heart issue, but
Okay. I can order community service generally for all of the cases. Um, I'm willing to defer one of the cases. What happened that you didn't come into court? What happened that we wound up with warrant?
that one I having some issues with my mail, and I just didn't keep up with it.
Okay, well, that's an honest answer. Remember that with tickets, it's always on the ticket, and the letter is after you miss the court date. So, that you're handed that ticket. So always remember that you get the ticket in hand. But I'll grant a deferred on the speeding charge, the more recent one,
Okay.
but I'll grant community service on both cases. Okay, and both cases are 38 hours. 25 are on the 25 hours on the stop sign charge, 13 on the speeding charge, the total that 38. The speeding will be deferred. So that will keep one of them off your record.
Okay.
And if you'll get your hours turned in on time and not reoffend, I'll dismiss that one charge and zero out both balances. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Now, community service in Waco. I don't have a list of places in Waco. What you're going to need to do is find a nonprofit provider that is an up-to-date nonprofit. Just make sure that it's not just a nonprofit that filed some paperwork sometime in the past. It needs to be updated each year. And You'll have a 2-week period to submit a provider for me to approve. We're going to send you the sheet that says, like you take it to that place. It can be a church, it can be a nursing home, it can even be VA services, as long as you're not getting paid to do the work and that they pre-approve and are willing to do your paperwork. The reason that I have people get this pre-approved is that if people wait to the last minute and then they find the thing they were counting on is not really, the place isn't going to work with them, or they thought it was a nonprofit, but it's not, and I can only accept nonprofits, but I will accept all current nonprofits in the state of Texas. So it's not insanely difficult to find one in your community.
I've
I'll get
actually already
you-
located one.
Great. I'll send you that pre-approval form, a timesheet to keep track of your hours with that place, a list of rules that I will ask that you follow because I'll hold you to them. I'll send you my local provider list because it kind of gives you an idea of things. And then you'll have a deadline on your timesheet. I will also send you a deferred paper. It will say that from today until November 17th, you'll be on a deferred disposition as long as you get your hours on time, which will be 60 days from today. And that's going to be September 19th. And don't reoffend, you'll get your case, the speeding charge dismissed, okay?
Okay.
All right, if I can email that to you at the email that we used to set up the meeting today, will that email address work for you?
Yes.
Okay, we'll probably get that out to you through the course of the morning. And I'm just looking for you to print it, sign it, and email it back to me, okay?
Okay.
Any questions about that?
No.
Okay, then you are good to go.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Spencer. You have a blessed day.
You too.
Mr. Matson, I'm moving Mr. Hamner back over to this while I pull his file. Okay, on the Hamner case, Mr. Matson, let's start with you. Where are we on this case?
Your Honor, Mr. Hamner wanted to have a quick discussion with you.
Okay, if you'll stay with us. Yes.
Yeah. So when I spoke to the clerk at the courthouse, I believe it was last Tuesday or Monday, I had asked if I basically had to make my case is the wrong word. The issue that I had with the ticket and the thing that happened. And she
Clerk can't help you with that.
No, I know. But she had told me that if I went this route, I had asked very clearly once or twice, if I go this route, does the driver safety course dismissal go off the table? Is that only an option that's available now? Or if I go this plea route, talk to the prosecutor, will I still have that option? And I was assured that I would. In speaking with, is it Matt, I believe?
No, it's Mr. Matson.
Yeah, Mr. Matson, he had said, well, we have to ask the judge about that. That's not something that's on mine. So basically, I only kind of went this route with the provision that I wasn't losing the option of doing the driver safety course dismissal route.
I mean, what's really hard for a clerk is when someone comes in and, it's not necessarily something that you did on purpose, but it's an inappropriate question to air the situation with them.
Right.
And they don't want to be perceived as giving you legal advice.
Right.
And they certainly can't address concerns or issues you have with the cycle.
Right.
What they are instructed to do is to give you an opportunity to talk with a person who can listen to that part of it, which the prosecutor, I can't.
Right.
And they can't.
Right.
The only one who could would be a jury, which you would need to meet with the prosecutor as a part of that process anyway, or the prosecutor, which is a meeting with the prosecutor. So they're going to default in a way that, I don't know. I don't know that Mr. Matson, are you saying that you're unable to, that speeding, that you would not agree with a driving safety course option?
No, Your Honor. I did offer deferral with the driver safety course. I believe he is referring to the defensive driving.
Right.
option.
Sometimes you make that recommendation. Are you saying that you're opposed to it? If he,
I'm not opposed to it, but I know that that's something that has to be brought before you. I can't just give it to him.
So, right. So you're asking, he could ask me that, or he could ask me for a deferred, and you're not opposed to either one.
Correct.
So I just kind of view, Mr. Hamner, what you're doing is making a conversation about something, but it's not, we're at the same place that we would be.
Right, no,
All that's happening is you're being required to make a formal request for something.
right, no, or that's where I think the disconnect
And
is.
for some reason, that seems like what you're saying is that's just really offensive to you. But what I'm telling you is that what's really offensive to me as a judge is if a clerk browbeats somebody into a driver safety course option who was making them believe that they wanted to air a grievance that they had to the proper party. We don't do that.
Yeah, I guess I'm really not trying to be disrespectful, Your Honor.
You're not, but I'm just letting you know, and I'm not really sure where you're trying to go with this because we're eating court time for
No.
something that's still an option, but you haven't actually asked for it. What you've done is complain about it.
No, I am asking the option. I was confused with from what Mr.
Well, then
Matson.
ask. But to ask, you have to enter a plea. You can't say, I've pleaded not guilty and I want a trial, but I don't want a trial because I want to be sentenced, because you're putting me in the same position you put the clerk in. And you just can't plead multiple pleas.
Yeah, I'm never done this. I wasn't attempting to. I am asking for the driver's safety deferral, I
Are you
believe.
pleading to the charge of speeding?
I guess in that case, guilty if that's they need to plead in order to.
Yeah, well, but what you can't do is say, I'm going to plead guilty if you give me what I want, but I'm going to plead not guilty if you don't. To do a plea and ask for it to be sentenced, you have to enter a plea that allows me to sentence you. You can't say, don't sentence me, but tell me what you'd do if I asked you to sentence me. It's just not a game we play because you get me into a bad position ethically, and I'm just not going to go there. So, I mean, I just don't. I know the rules. I've known them a long time, and I just stick with them because then I know what I did. It's the same thing every time.
Yeah, no,
How are you pleading to the charge?
I'm really confused. I'm pleading.
Okay, there are three options for pleading. Remember that a ticket is an accusation, and there are three options for pleading: guilty, not guilty, no contest. Guilty means I did it. Not guilty means I'm contesting it. No contest means I'm not saying yes or no. I just want to be sentenced.
Okay, then
How are you? Do you understand those options?
I do understand those.
How are you pleading to the charge?
Pleading guilty.
Okay. What is your request at this time?
My request at this time. The option number 2, driver safety course.
Okay. Let me check one thing. Was he on time? Okay. Mr. Matson, Mr. Hamner's speeding charge is a 24 in a posted speed limit, and he was originally on time to court. He didn't miss a court date. Therefore, I would normally consider his request at this time, even though it's technically, out of sequence, so to speak. Do you have any opposition to that?
No, Your Honor, the state does not oppose.
Okay, Mr. Hamner, the court costs in this case, I believe, are $144. Can you pay those fees today?
If I'm allowed to use it today, if it has to be a debit card.
Yeah, we can take every form of payment, just about. I discourage sending cash. And money orders, I similarly feel dubious about.
Okay.
You are in Troy, is that right?
Yes.
Okay, when can you come to the court today to do that payment, bring your license, insurance, and sign all your paperwork? What time today can you be here?
Be at the courthouse within an hour to pay. I am in the process of getting, my wallet was stolen from me about 2 nights ago. So I'm trying to get new cards and everything. I'm
We
not
don't
sure.
need your card. You can,
I have a photo of my ID.
just 1 second. Are they? Like if they knows his company. Okay, the clerk can work with you on insurance verification. Just bring the name of your company and, I
Okay.
believe we can look it up even with your,
I have my insurance. Don't have my wallet.
you're cutting out a bunch. So that's adding to our confusion with you.
Okay. I have insurance information. I do not have my physical wallet is what's my issue.
Your physical ID in your wallet. Is that what you're saying?
Yes,
You
but
you cut out every time you tell me this. We have a copy of your ID already.
okay.
Do we have? We don't have your insurance yet. The clerk
Okay.
can work with you. The clerk can work with you on getting proof of insurance. Generally speaking, they can probably call your insurance company and have them send something over. And then, like you would have it too. So you just would need their contact.
Okay.
So we'll look for you around 11:30.
Yes.
Okay. We will see you at the window.
All right. See you there.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Hanlon. Mr. Matson, I'm going to move you forward to conversation with Reginald Adams. Reginald Adams, can you unmute and let me know that your audio is working? I don't see him. Where is he? I will come back to him. I thought he was here. I might have been mistaken.
I see, Your Honor, it's Carla Norvell.
Oh, there we go. Carla Norville, can you unmute Reginald Adams?
Am I speaking now?
Yes.
Okay, I'm here.
Okay. Where is Reginald Adams?
Ma'am, I got Reginald out of foster care. He's my nephew.
Okay.
I've been having him since May the 28th of last year. But he's been in trouble ever since I've got him.
Okay.
He's not here because he snuck out the house a week ago and he still hasn't come home. He's been breaking in cars. He's been stealing. I've called the police several times, and all they tell me is that they can't do anything but bring him home when he breaks the law. He stole my car twice. He's went to his grandma's house recently. She lives in Belton, and he stole her car and wrecked it and tore up her garage. And he's been missing because he had a court date on Thursday. Last Wednesday, he snuck out the house and he's not returned. And they just keep telling me that they can't do anything the way the juvenile system is set up. But I'm so afraid for him that he's gonna get killed breaking in someone's car, or he's only 13 years old. He just turned 13 in March. And I'm just really worried, and I've done everything that I can to try to save this child. But I'm at my wit ends because I'm really afraid. It's a 16-year-old boy just got shot and killed breaking in a car.
Yes, that just happened.
Yes.
Yesterday.
And I thought it was him, because I don't even know where he is. I don't know where to begin to look for him. I feel like he needs to be locked up in a juvenile facility to save himself. But they won't do anything.
Eventually, something will trigger that response if he makes it. I recognize the suffering that this is for you and for him. My ticket is really kind of minor compared to that. It's still important for him to tend to it, but it's possession of tobacco. And, you know, what I generally do at this point is let you know, Ms. Norvell, that you're currently off the hook now. I mean, you've done the thing you can do, which is made yourself available to the court. I'm going to keep using the address I have where we sent everything before until I get another address on him. This will turn into, you know, a hold until it's a hold on his ability to get a license, which may not mean anything to him right now. Eventually, though, if you see him or if he's picked up, he can write to me and we can figure it out. Because whatever else is going on is a lot bigger than tobacco right now. And like I said, tobacco is important. My mother was a victim of that. I take it pretty seriously. But you're describing felony activity, and I don't have any control over that one. I am very familiar with the juvenile justice system that we have in this state. The thing that we can do is teen court, but that really encompasses the idea that someone's going to show up and take ownership of their actions. And right now, we're not there. As far as him, I mean, I just, you know, my heart is with you on it. I'm sorry that all your strong efforts to help are just not being met with a good situation. I think just keep doing what you're doing, and eventually something will trip into a system that will maybe be able to address it more. I do think reporting him as a runaway and reporting when he takes your car as a crime, I think you're doing that. But I know that when you care for someone, it's difficult to report it as a crime. So that could help. I don't know. But I am relieving you of the need to be in court at this time. If you have a way to make him available to court at any time, I'm open, and I'll just be here when the time comes.
Okay, Judge Persons. So there's nothing else that you can do?
I am not allowed to issue a warrant for a young person on a tobacco case. My authority is strictly on the tobacco charge. And, you know, what I'm allowed to do there is my strictest thing would be to order that he pay a fine that I know he can't pay. If he's here in front of me, I work with him on a way to do that might help him. And I have to order him to take a tobacco class if he enters a plea that lets me do that. But you know, without a person present, the only thing I can issue is a warrant. And for juveniles, I'm not permitted to do that, though I can, and I will be holding their license until they come in. That's the thing I'm allowed to do.
Okay, thank you very much, Judge Person.
I wish the courts were a little more social services oriented at times. Probation for the juvenile department, which is going to be like class Bs and above, they have social workers that get involved, but they're going to have to apprehend him first. He will have to be picked up probably for an offense. I don't know why I can't really weigh in on the messages you're getting from the police department because that's just not my department, but I'm not sure why they're, you know, I don't know if you're aware. I mean, I don't know what they require. If you don't know where someone is and they left, that's a runaway. And yeah, the solution is they bring him home. And then if the car is missing, you can report it stolen, which will trigger activity if they apprehend him and whoever he's with, because he's with someone.
Yes, ma'am. I'm just so afraid for him.
Yes. And I'm going to tell you right now, this group of people, everybody stopped and paid attention because I see a lot of caring. in the faces of everyone here right now. I think we all wish you the best, and we will be thinking about you.
Okay, thank you, Judge Person.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you for what you're trying to do.
Yes, ma'am.
You're good to go, but you can stay on the call if you want to.
Okay, bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Let's see, Mr. Matson. Okay, that was gonna be the next person. So moving forward. Mariah Pippins Infante is going to be your next person. Miss Pippins Infante, can you unmute so that we know that that's working?
Yes, ma'am.
Perfect. I'm gonna move you over to that meeting.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. I'll say this wrong. I'll do my best. Elena Martinez Racanegra,
Yes, ma'am.
how are you today?
Good, and you?
Fine.
Mm.
Give me a moment to get the keys pulled up.
Okay.
You are 16 today?
Yes, ma'am.
You have a parent with you.
Yes, ma'am.
Let's see your parent. Good morning.
Good morning.
What's your name?
Norma Idalia Bocanegra Rodriguez.
And your mom?
Yes.
Okay. We have a no driver's license charge from June 19th. That's driving without a license. The fines and costs are $181. And I did receive a plea from Elena. And the plea was guilty with the request for teen court. Elena, is that your plea at this time?
Yes, ma'am.
And do you understand that that means I'll be moving towards your teen court request?
Yes, ma'am.
With teen court, there is a $20 fee, and it's a cash fee. Can that get paid today?
Yes, ma'am.
Let me ask you a question. Are you in the process of getting a driver's license?
Yes, ma'am.
Where are you in that process?
And Austin, see, I'm not driving.
Austin Driving School?
Yes, ma'am.
When do you start, or have you started?
I haven't started. I signed up, and they were gonna call me back to let me know when to start.
Okay, and they haven't called yet?
No, ma'am.
You know how long that's going to take?
No, ma'am.
Here's why I'm wondering. If I send you to a bunch of classes and they're the same classes that they're going to send you to,
Mm-hmm.
if you needed to take a class for a group like that, and then 4 months later I saw you, I could give you a class. But having someone just take the same class is just kind of, it's a lot of, I don't see the need to do that. So,
Okay.
so I'm trying to not double up on you.
Okay.
It's not helpful. So I'm trying to utilize that process as part of this process, but now we don't know what it is. So
Yeah.
I could say to you that, your license is due by September 19th. And that's just plus proof of your classes.
Okay.
And that will probably get us where we need to be.
Okay.
So I'll need you to come by the court with your mom today to do that cash payment and sign up for teen court, okay?
Okay.
And the two things I'll be looking for in September your license and your proof of that you've completed the Austin.
Sorry, you cut off. Can you repeat
The
that?
two things that I'll be looking for September 19th is your license and proof that you've completed your Austin driving school classes.
Okay.
Okay, come on by the court with mom. What time will you be here?
Well, I'm here at the court right now.
Okay, we'll get your paperwork out to the lobby pretty soon.
Okay.
Okay, just
Okay.
wait there. Someone will come get it shortly.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Mr. Matson, are we ready to move Pippins Infante back over?
Yes, Your Honor, I believe we have a similar situation to Mr. Hamner.
She's says that she's enrolled in it. So just driving school. I don't care which one. Okay. Miss Pippins Infante, you're trying to do a driving safety course option.
Yes, ma'am.
Hang on just a moment. I need to see if you're on time. Okay, so there was a citation that was for May 30th, and we received it on June 1st. And I'm pulling that up because it had your court date on it. Give me a moment. That system can be slow.
Well,
So the
I-
court date was June 20th,
yes.
and give me a moment. We didn't hear from you until July 10th. What was the reason that you didn't come in for your first court date that was on your ticket that you were handed at the scene?
I am self-employed, so I work full-time throughout the week.
Well, we
Um,
take letters and faxes and emails.
oh, I did not know that. I thought I had to appear.
I mean, if you'd called, anyone would have told you.
Okay. And I
The
also
problem
wasn't,
is that you waived your driving safety course option at that time. So I'm not able to get you back to that one. How are you pleading to this charge? Or what are you trying to do?
well, I was trying to do the defensive driving. I wasn't aware at the time that if I didn't show up on time, that would no longer be an option.
Well, there's just a certain amount of self-help that you need to do for yourself. And when
Right.
an officer of the law stands by the side of the road and tells you this is your court date, and they put
Mhm.
it in writing like that, and you sign it saying I will appear, that's the law. I have to hold you to it.
Right.
I don't know another way to tell someone because they're telling you right then and there that you need to be there.
Okay.
So I'm not really able to get you back to that place. But what I asked you was, how are you pleading to the charge? And you answered me by telling me something different. How are you pleading to the charge?
I would plead no contest and move forward with a deferral.
You're requesting me to grant a deferral at this time?
So does requesting a deferral just move it to the next court date?
So requesting a deferral means that right now I consider whether I grant it. And if I say, no, you don't get to have one, then you don't get to have one. That's just that. And then I sentence you. or I grant it and I send it to you according to that deferral.
Right,
I'm
but
not trying to be rude. It's just apparently, when I said it to everybody this morning, it just wasn't clear enough that, judges can just say, no, you don't get to have one.
no,
Any
yes, I
judge,
understand. I was also a bit confused on what a deferral meant. I understand everything else, but a deferral means it's a hold.
No, it's not a hold. It's a sentencing option that if you follow up on it, means that you get a dismissal. And, I'm taking into account the fact that you were given a written order by the side of the road and you didn't follow up on it. And now I'm about to add a big order of things for you to do. And I'm just meeting a lot of resistance to even like understanding it. A deferral is a delay. And I give you things that you have to do to earn a dismissal. If I grant it, that's what I do. If you do the things on time that are listed and you meet the deadlines, then you get that dismissal. But it's kind of like by the side of the road. If you get a date and you don't follow up and do your part, then you put your case on the line.
I understand.
Well, I'm trying to get you to understand because
Yes.
We're at a place where you demonstrated that it wasn't either clear to you or whatever. I don't completely know. So are you requesting a deferred at this time?
Yes, ma'am, if I could.
Okay, if I've understood you, you pleaded no contest and you asked for a deferred.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. At your age, which is under 25, any deferral would require a longer deferral and an opportunity you're going to have to do a driving safety course. You also are going to have to pay the cost of the ticket, which would be $254. Had you been on time to court, yes, you could have gone into the court and signed up for driving safety because the offense was eligible. You missed the court date, so you disqualified yourself for that regular option. So now we're talking about a deferral. Mr. Matson, are you opposed to a deferral?
No, Your Honor.
Okay. Then, ma'am, can you pay your $254 today?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Your course will be due in 60 days, which is September 19th. This will all be on your paperwork and we'll send you course information as well, or you'll come in and get it. We've got to sort that out in a moment. Payment is today, course by September 19th. Deferral ends on November 17th. During that time, you cannot get any offenses against the state or fail to appear. If you don't turn in your class on time, that's not appearing on time because your certificate of completion on or before that day, you don't have to wait till that day. You can turn it in 2 days if you want to, but no later than September 19th. Payment is today, and your deferral with no offenses, no warrants, no failures to appear by November 17th. Okay. I can email that to you if you're able to print it and sign it and email it back, or and make payment online or by phone, or you can come by the court. Which is it going to be?
I would like the email, please.
Okay. And then you're doing payment online or by phone?
Online.
Okay. There's online payment link, and I think your deferred is almost ready. And once I sign it, then I know you're free to pay it and not trigger a conviction. Yes, there is. It's not, I don't call it a hold because a hold means I'm sending notice to DPS to not renew your license. That's not what we're doing. There is a period of time where you don't reoffend, and that period runs from today till November, 17th, with a course due September 19th and payment due today. During this time, you cannot be subsequently convicted of any offenses. Keep your address current. Any citations during the deferral period with failure to appear can constitute a violation of this agreement. Convictions during this period can constitute a violation of this agreement. But if you successfully comply with the agreement, then your case would be dismissed, okay? Read it carefully when we send it, which is going to be here in a moment with driving course information. And the items that pertain to you are checked off. You'll read them and then you'll sign it and send it back to us today. You also can then go online to the municipal courts tab of the Temple City website, and there's a pay now button. You can link over and do that, okay?
Okay.
Do you have any further questions?
No, ma'am. Thank you so
Okay.
much.
Thank you.
Thank you. Have a good day.
You're good to go, and you too. Mr. Metzen, moving you forward with Marinika. Help me, Mr. Oshini. Could you help me? How do you say it?
It's Moreni KG.
Okay. And then you're going by KG? KG? Okay. Sorry for butchering the name. I apologize, but I will move you over to that meeting with the prosecutor, okay? All right. Okay, so I also am moving forward, let me see, with Dominique Robertson.
Yes, ma'am.
How are you today?
I'm trying my best to make it. How you doing today?
Probably similarly situated. Let me talk to you just a little bit about it.
Yes, ma'am.
Where I am is I have you on a community service order. We've been doing that since March of 2023. Your oldest case dates back to a year from August, and I don't have any progress on the cases. Now, let me read your most recent letter. Okay, you're hurting. You have a doctor surgery scheduled. What's your surgery date? Oh, it's pending.
Yes, ma'am. So when I was doing my community service at the Feed My Sheep shelter, I took a wrong step off of the curb, and I retore my ACL and my MCL, and I no longer can walk. I can't do anything. I'm bedridden.
How many hours did you get done there?
None. I had actually just got there, and I was walking around with the guy, and he was explaining to me what I would be doing. And when I took a step off of the curb, I fell down, wasn't able to get back up, had to be rushed to the emergency room.
Okay, and
I have I don't know if you can see me or not.
I don't need to. I'm not doubting your word at this time. I'm trying to figure out how long this is going to be your situation.
I can't hear you anymore, Judge.
I'm trying to find out how long this is going to be your situation.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. And
Okay,
my audio is turned on, and I can see that my audio is being received by the Zoom program. So I'm not sure what's happening on your end. If I can't talk to you, it's going to be difficult. The only
Hello?
solution, if I can't hear you, the only solution is to have you come in. Can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am, I can hear you now. I apologize. I don't know what's going on with my phone.
Okay. How long are you going to be in this situation?
So from my previous surgeries, it usually take about a year and a half to be back up and walking.
Okay, then I need your doctor to put that in writing. I'll
Yes, ma'am.
extend right now what I can do is extend your community service for 30 days to give you time to get a doctor's note to me that is specific to the community service and whether you can or cannot do it.
Yes, ma'am, I definitely can get that to you.
Okay. All right. Then you're extended to August 22nd. And I'll respond to whatever you send in.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, you're good to go for now.
All right. Thank you. You have a good day.
Thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
I have a phone caller who I just let in. Could you tell me your name?
Hello,
Hi. What's
Tamara
your-
Wolf.
Okay, Miss Wolf, you're scheduled for the pretrial this morning and we'll be with you shortly. What you're not gonna see, because you're on a phone, is that there are several persons ahead of you in the line. But you will have a turn and just stay handy. You'll want to make sure that you continue to listen for your name to be called. Sometimes folks get a little, they tune it out because they're not seeing it on the phone. But we'll be with you soon.
Yes, ma'am. Thank
Okay,
you.
thank you. Okay, give me just a moment. I'm just catching up my notes. Okay, if I could get Andrea Quintero to unmute, please.
Yes, ma'am.
Good morning. How are you?
I'm good. How about you?
Well, thank you for asking. It's a speeding accusation from June 19th.
Yes, ma'am.
If you pay it, it's $259. You're considered an adult for purposes of this type of offense in Texas. Excuse me. And so I don't need a parent, although they're welcome. But it would appear that you might be at work. I'm not sure. If you're at home, it's a very tidy kitchen. So I did receive a plea of no contest and a request for teen court, which I will grant. Is no contest your plea at this time?
Repeat that. You cut out.
No contest your plea at this time?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. With teen court, there's a $20 fee. Can you pay that fee today?
Yes, ma'am.
And with the speeding charge, what I normally do is a driving safety course that would be due in 30 days. That would be a driving safety course due by August 22nd.
Okay.
I can email this to you if you're able to print it and sign it and email it back. Or we can have you, oh, no, I'm sorry. No, you have to come in because the teen court fee. When can you be here today?
I can be there within an hour.
Okay, well, it's 10:30. Let's say by noon.
Okay.
Okay. Then we will see you then. And from that point, you'll pay the $20 and bring your license ID. And then we'll give you course information and the due date, which is August 22nd. And if you get it done and turned in on time, you get a dismissal of the offense, okay?
Okay.
All right, any question?
No, ma'am.
Okay, you are good to go. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye-bye. Mr. Mattson, I'm moving Mr. O'Sheen forward. Okay, the offense against Mr. O'Sheen is alleged speeding charge from July 5th, 2023. The fines and costs are $254. Where are we with regard to this matter?
Your Honor, I was curious on whether Mr. Oshin would be eligible for community service.
No,
No, he's not.
no.
Okay. Then in that case, I think we should discuss things a little bit further.
Okay. I'll have y'all go back into meeting. Mr. Oshin, you'll have to move yourself back over to the meeting. You should be able to do that. Just move your cursor around on your screen. There ought to be a button.
Oh, the joint breakout room button.
Yes, do it.
All right, thank you.
Okay, thank you. Miss Gwen, can you unmute and tell me how you're doing?
Yes, ma'am. I'm here.
Good, okay. Let's see. Just looking at everything, I have two charges. One is May 25th. The fines and costs for it's a speeding allegation. Sorry, there's a lot of background noise. 50.
I know. I'm sorry. I'm at school. It's my break room. There's no room for me to go into.
We'll do the best we can. I received a plea of guilty for that charge and a request for a payment plan. Is that your plea at this time, guilty?
Yes, ma'am. If I plead guilty, is there any way to get it deferred, or is that not an option?
It might be an option. We have to sort it out in terms of payment, and I'm just not all the way in enough to know if that's an option.
Okay, yes, ma'am.
I mean, there'll be an option. Maybe on one of these. There's a speeding charge then from June 8th, and it's 60 and 45, and the fines and costs are 254. I did receive the plea of guilty. Is that your plea at this time?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And then you mentioned that you're in school at Austin Healthcare, and Social Security is all that's coming in right now for bills. Is that right?
Yes, ma'am, for myself, but I do have a son that does work, and I have a daughter that just started not too long ago.
And you have 6 kids, is that right?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Then you're in school to like further your options, right?
Yes, ma'am. I'm in school for diagnostic medical sonography.
Wonderful. We need those. But you know, I view school as a positive, don't get me wrong, but I view it as a debt incursion because generally speaking, we're paying that bill in this country. So I'm looking at this, and to me, what makes sense is that we are doing community service because your bills and income are about the same thing. And I recognize there might be some other money coming in, but I don't really do a maybe on whether someone can work it off and find the costs. I do yeah, they can do it, or and the way that it looks to me as presented, I should order community service. And that's going to be a little easier to do a deferral, and I'll be honest with you, because I have a little more ways to work with that. It comes to 26 hours, and that's both cases included, so 13 on each case.
Yes, ma'am.
And I'll defer. They're both speeding. I guess I'm going to defer the hold on, I'm just trying to nail down which number it is. The 6004 case. The higher speeding charge. One, it's got the better impact in terms of your record. I don't mind throwing that out there for you. but I am going to require a driving safety course on that deferral.
Yes, ma'am.
Just because there's 2 in a row. Okay, so
Yes, ma'am.
one of them can be deferred. The conditions on the deferral are that from today until it ends, which is November 11th, I'm sorry, 17th, you're on a deferral that ends at that time. Your community service is going to be due September 19th, which is 60 days roughly, a little bit more, or a little bit roughly from today. And then your course is due at that exact same deadline. That way you just have
Yes,
one
ma'am.
deadline. And if you meet those conditions, that speeding charge will be dismissed. The other one, I'm doing a conviction. The community service order will say 26 hours total. 13 are going on to one case, 13 on the other. One of them is a deferral. Okay. And then the only thing you're turning in is, I need your paperwork back today, your driving safety course in 60 days with your community service. My next thing to address with you is that it would appear that you're in school in Austin. I'm assuming you're driving back and forth.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
And
I
that's the reason that I ended up getting 2 tickets, because I was running a little bit late, and one, I didn't realize what the speed limit was. And then the other one, I was just speeding. I'm not going to deny that.
Yeah, we just want you to survive this, get back to a normal place. So I think a deferral is a good way to have that reminder and get that course and keep you safer. Texas is unfortunately the #1 state for death and dismemberment. I can't really change that except like one person at a time.
Yes, ma'am.
But when we get a ticket, we move into the highest risk group. And the younger you are, the riskier it is. And you're young. So I think this is a good step. I'm in favor of the deferral. I'm glad because it allows me to kind of push the class right now while it might really help you. So
Thank you.
I think
appreciate
it's
it.
a good option. I think it is worthy of doing. But you're going to have to keep up with it. And obviously you have 6 children and you're moving into a new career. And I don't know if the Social Security is a disability of you or a spouse, but I know that there might be a lot more going on than I'm aware of. And just breathe. So I can email this to you, but as far as back to what we were talking about, getting you into a community service option, I'm going to send you a timesheet, track of your hours, a list of places that are already pre-approved in the community. And then also I'll send you some rules, and there'll be a pre-approval sheet for anything not on the list. That's going to be due back August 3rd. So if you're going to go off the list, you've got a 2-week deadline to tell me where and get it approved. They have to be a nonprofit, and it has to be a nonprofit. I don't care where you go in the state of Texas. I just need it to be a nonprofit that's up. Does that make sense?
Yes, ma'am. Would a church count for a nonprofit?
Yeah, as long as the church, director or whoever does the record keeping there is signing off that, yeah, we're available. This is what this person's going to do. I'm usually good with it. Okay.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. So we'll email everything to you, and then you can print it and sign it and email it back today. Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Can we email to the email we used for the link for the meeting today?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, good. Do you have any further questions?
No, ma'am.
Okay. All right. Good luck with everything, Ms. Finn.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, Mr. Matson, I'm moving Mr. Ocean back over. And I'm also letting someone in who's quite late. We'll just see what that's. On the Ocean case, where are we?
Your Honor, Mr. Ocean has indicated he would like to change his plea and discuss a payment plan with you.
Okay. Mr. Ocean, what is your plea to that charges?
So I think is it a no contestation or what's
No
that?
contest. Okay. I'll accept your plea and I will move forward with a possibility of a payment plan. What can you pay towards your balance today?
Today, I could probably do about $50 today.
Okay, can we do that every month?
I can do $50 a month, yes.
Okay. And then on monthly, today, can you come by the court and sign your payment plan?
Yeah, is there a time limit for me to be there?
Well, there'll be a time limit because we actually close each day, but what time can you be here?
Because I have I can probably try to be there around lunchtime.
Why don't we say by 1?
Yeah.
Okay, we'll look for you around 1. We'll have everything at the desk. Shouldn't take more than about 5 minutes.
Okay.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Ocean.
Do I need to bring any paperwork with me when I'm coming?
No, sir.
Okie dokie.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Bye-bye. Moving forward, Mr. Matson, Deshaw, Armstrong?
Sasha, yes, ma'am.
Sasha, thank you. Let me move you into that meeting with the prosecutor.
Okay.
Sorry, I messed up the name.
Oh, no, you're fine.
Do you have a person who just came in called 1+GN 2200? Can you unmute and tell me your name, please?
Yes, my name's Brian McClinton, Your Honor.
Okay. Court started at 9 and it's 10:40. What's going on?
I just had a late night. I've had a lot of problems where I'm staying, Judge.
Okay.
And so I'm trying to get me a new place to stay.
Okay.
And I had to call out Temple Police Department late last night. I found someone standing by my door front. And my friend told me that she, one way or another, she said that she felt some kind of way. And she looked through the peephole and then she asked me to come look. And it was someone standing there. So I called the police department. It's had me on edge all night. And I ended up sleeping over.
Okay.
Your Honor.
Well, you will be seen today. So we'll
Yes,
be with
thank
you. We will be with you shortly. Okay.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
But there are a couple people ahead of you, obviously. Okay.
Not a problem, Your Honor, at all.
Okay. Just hang tight. Okay. We'll be with you shortly. Mr.
Yes,
McClinton.
ma'am.
Sorry about your night.
Yes.
Sounds a little harrowing.
Yes, it was, ma'am.
Hang in there. We'll be with you shortly. Try to stay awake.
Yes,
Okay.
I will.
Okay.
Mhm.
All right. I am also moving forward. I think I have one more person. No, I don't. Let me double check. Just a quick check in. Let's see. Oh no, Miss Burleson. She's got a bunch of cases. I'm really interested in whether we have given her community service ever. I think we have. Because I can just activate her if she wants to turn herself in. But she said she's not gonna bother to show up. Actually, you keep working. I can look this up. All her cases are in KPS. Yeah, she's had community service shortfalls as recently as 2020. She just doesn't. Her voice can be activated.
Hello?
Yes, hi, Miss Wolf. We're still working, but we're just waiting on the prosecutor.
Okay,
Prosecutor is meeting with various people, and
okay,
you're in that queue, and there are approximately 2 people ahead of you. Okay,
oh, that's fine. I just wanted to make sure, so.
totally makes sense. On the phone, we probably went totally silent. We just don't have a music option.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. Okay, Mr. McClinton, you're on my side of the docket today. Can you unmute?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, so I have 3 cases with you. One of them is one that we don't, I have a plea, but I have not yet accepted that plea. It is a theft under $100, and there are fines and costs of $296. And I did receive a plea of no contest from you and a request to have 30 days to make payment. But let's back
Yes,
up.
Your Honor.
Let's back up and let me ask you, is no contest your plea at this time?
Your Honor, is it correct that no contest is basically not admitting guilt, or are you just saying I'd like to get this matter behind you?
Right. So no contest means I'm not admitting or denying it, but I'm moving forward with sentencing, and I agree to be sentenced.
Okay, that's correct, Your Honor.
Okay, I will accept your plea and find you guilty of the offense of the theft. We also have 2 other cases from 2018. There has been some movement in terms of payment on those cases, but they both still have balances. And the speeding charge from July 25th of 2018 has a balance of $279.10. The non-appearance in court charge that was filed back in 2018 has a balance of $368.70. And then the theft charge right now has a balance of $296. And that comes to a total of $943.80. And I wanted to ask you, so in looking at your income information, I do show that you are a retired and disabled veteran,
Yes, Your Honor.
that you received disability and also Social Security. Is that right?
Yes, Your Honor.
Are you the only income to your home?
I am, Your Honor.
Okay. And you have rent, electric, water, phone, food.
Yes, Your Honor.
You don't appear to have a car payment, but you do have a cable payment and you have a dog care payment or a dog care amount. And
Yes,
so
Your Honor.
I'm wondering if you could tell me, you know, we've had multiple payment plans, right? They don't work out, but you have the ability to pay.
All right. Your Honor, I've had just circumstance after circumstance, and it's inconceivable for me that so many circumstances keep arising in my life, causing me hardships. You know, and I'm not purposefully doing these things because I think that I would be more. I would probably be in jail a lot more, or such, you know. But so it's a lot of things going on that's being caused, and it's not due to my makings, you know. But I do own up, Your Honor, to the things that I have done. I want to say that I hope that the court understands that I do recognize that I was wrong for some offenses that I've committed in the past, and I accept full responsibility for them. And so I'm just saying I would like to attempt, when I get paid this pay period, pay off this entire thing and be done with this, Your Honor. That is what my stance is if you look, I put in there the notes and remarks to you.
I read
that
them.
I'm going to try to get that done, and not just try, but ma'am, I'm going to put forth a valiant effort to get that done.
Okay. What are you able to pay anything today?
No, Your Honor. I get paid on the 25th. You could say the 26th. That would be better, which is just a
Okay,
couple of days away.
6.
Yes, 26. Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. So on that day, what are you paying?
On that day, I'd like to go and pay at least 2 of those fines, Your Honor. Let's say the 2 past ones, the failure to appear and the speeding ticket.
Okay, that's 647.80.
Yes, ma'am. That is achievable.
Okay, and then the balance a month later?
I'll pay the entire balance a month later. Yes, Your Honor.
A month later is going to be. Can you do it on the 25th of August? Because that's a Friday.
Yes, I should. Yes.
Okay. All right. I need you to come by and sign for this today.
I will, Your Honor.
What time?
I'm gonna get myself together and I'll try to be in there before close of business. Is that fine?
Let's say 3:30.
All righty. I will do, Your Honor.
You need to be here so that I don't issue a warrant, okay?
I will. I will not forget.
Okay, we will see you
All right.
about 3:30.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Okay, thank you. Set your alarm, okay?
I will, ma'am.
Okay, thank you, Mr. McClinton.
Yes, ma'am. Bye-bye.
Mr. Matson, where are we on the Armstrong case?
Your Honor, Ms. Armstrong and I have reached an agreement. I think she wanted to speak with you about a license issue that she might have.
Okay, let me look. Screen or anything. Give me just a moment. I seem to need to pull up a system. Look like one quick. Ms. Armstrong.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, give me just a moment. I'm checking on that.
Okay, because it's saying that the ending date is 9/9/9/9/9, and when I went to I reached out to the DPS. I went to the county clerk, and I went to just to the PC, issued my occupational, but I let my SR-22 drop. So as the next one rolls off the driving while invalid, it rolls off in September, but I got that 9/9/9/9/9 one on there, and I'm needing
That-
and that.
So without giving legal advice, I can tell you that I've normally seen that due to, I don't see anything in my system holding your license. So the whole, first of all, isn't with this court. But when I see that 9999, what that tells me is that you owe DPS something, and it's usually SR-22 insurance. Sometimes it's a reinstatement fee.
Oh
Because
no,
you're talking to me instead of DPS. That's who you need to talk to.
okay.
Because you may think they have your SR-22 and they may think that they don't. You may think you've paid a fee and they may think that you don't. But one thing I know for sure, it's not with this court, so I can't help you.
Okay.
But 9999 tells me when we get what we want. That's what that means.
I had got into a car wreck in 2012
Oh, yeah.
and didn't have
So,
insurance. So
yeah.
I guess
That's
so
possibly, let me just tell you what that's possibly, and then you'll need to go on their website to look it up. Because again, your issue is with them. That is possibly some type of form that you have to file that shows that you've either satisfied a judgment or taken certain steps regarding that accident and any damage. And you'll need to get with DPS to find out about that. It's not in any way connected with this case, which is an assault by contact against a family member. And what I'm asking the prosecutor to tell me right now is, where are we on this case?
Your Honor, we have reached an agreement on terms of deferral,
Okay,
and those terms are 120-day period. And Ms. Armstrong would provide proof of attending 5 sessions with a therapist by day 60. And I was curious if you had any input on how that would be recorded.
so I always have had a letter from such a provider, and that person would say, this person was here on these dates. It doesn't give me any HIPAA information or anything that's personal, because it's really not my business.
Right.
Just that attendance was had.
So if her therapist just sends a letter to the court on the 60th day outlining when she attended, that's sufficient?
As long as it's the 5 sessions, yeah.
Okay.
That sounds good. And what is the issue on payment?
Ms. Armstrong has already posted a bond, Your Honor.
Oh, I see. Okay, so I didn't look that far. Okay, so we'll just count that as today.
Okay. Thank you.
And I'll approve the deferral. And I just need a signature on that. So are you coming by today, or can we send it and have you print it, sign it, and email it back?
Oh, I can come. I'll just go ahead and come by.
That's nice and easy because you get a copy for free. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, great. We'll have that ready for you. I'm signing it right now. So when can you meet?
Oh, I'm right here. I'm coming from right here in West Adams, so I'll be there in about 20 minutes.
Okay, we will see you then.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Let's see. Okay. All right, Mr. Matson, I will move you forward. Your next person is Erica Scoggins. Ms. Scoggins, can you unmute so we know that your audio is working?
Yes, ma'am.
I will move you over to that meeting. Okay, and we're just waiting on that meeting to complete. Well, Chris seems fine because he walked out the door to a chiropractic appointment. So. Hmm. Okay. Mr. Matson, I'll move Ms. Scoggins back over. And where are we on the I think it looks like it's a red light charge. A bunch of cases scratched up. Gotcha. Okay. And those have dates. Okay, thank you. All right, where are we with the single charge of red light?
Judge, we're going to continue to final pretrial.
Okay.
And Scoggins has requested discovery at that time.
Okay, I'll add that to that date. It's August 23rd at 3 o'clock.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Are we gonna discuss the other, the ones that I requested the payment plan for?
I believe, let me just double check.
Okay.
Let me pull it up because my notes indicate that we were doing.
It should have been, so there was 2 tickets that I got back in, I think it was around February, and
Hold on
then.
just a moment. Hold on just
Okay.
a moment. I want to pull my file and I want to move Mr. Matson forward and I want to do both. So,
Sorry.
Mr. Matson, Dave Jefferson III is waiting for you. And Mr. Jefferson, can you unmute?
Hello?
Hi, let me move you over to that meeting.
Me, Dave?
Yes, you have a meeting with the prosecutor and I'm moving you over to that meeting.
Okay.
Okay, Ms. Scoggins, hang on just a moment.
Okay, yes, ma'am.
Yes, I'm sure. Okay, what I received was this new charge, which we've got dates for that. And then on the older cases, let's see. There's a case where you were requesting an extension for it's a driving while license valid charge.
Yes,
And
ma'am.
the fines and costs are $331. And right now, today's the court date for that to talk about it. And the accusation date's March 24th of 2020. And you were asking to be able to provide a valid license. So those aren't things that can be dismissed, the license. If you are contesting it because you're saying that at the time of the stop, your license was valid, then we move that. Hold on, I'm going to finish
Yeah.
my sentence. Then we move that to a pretrial because you're contesting the charge.
Okay.
I don't know. So I didn't grant an extension yet. I just said, let's put it on for today to talk about it because
Okay.
I don't really understand. If someone says to me, I want an extension to get a dismissal, and the answer is there's no dismissal under state law with what you're proposing, which is to provide one, then I feel like we needed to talk about it because maybe you didn't know, so
Yes.
you might not have known that. Those don't get dismissed later because we get it valid. I didn't write that law, but that's the law.
Yes, ma'am.
So I guess I'm trying to figure out, what are you trying to do?
So I finally was able to get, because I've paid all my tickets. So I was under the impression that my driver's license was valid. Well, come to find out, I ended up having to contact the main office of Virginia DMV. I
Okay.
actually had to sign and notarize a letter for my sister to be able to go up there and us talk to someone because I could not get through their phone lines forever. It was for a vehicle that I sold before I moved to Texas, that person did not put the vehicle in their name. So I ended up having to contact them, and they had to go, and I got all the documentation that they had to go and put everything in their name. They were responsible for all the back pay, all the insurance, all their tolls, because that's what was that was holding up my license. And I was not aware of it because all that stuff was going to my old address in Virginia. It never came here. So they told me that I had to, show them the bill of sale. I had to provide all the documentation. But it could take 30 to 45 days before they can mail me a letter saying that my license they're going to backdate it, that my license should have been valid since this offense, when I sold the vehicle.
I need to stop you. I think the appropriate measure is to see if if the prosecutor agrees with this and agrees to dismiss.
Okay.
So
yes, ma'am.
We have that scheduled for August 23rd, but it sounds like something y'all should talk about before then, so that we're ready on the 23rd. On this one as well. So I can schedule a pretrial for August 1st. I need him to have an opportunity to get ready, and I need anything you want him to see, you can email to the court and we'll put in the file. But I'm going to schedule it for Zoom on August 1st.
Okay.
At 9. We'll send you that link, okay? And that one will also have what's called a final pretrial, that live hearing, with the other one on August 23rd.
Okay.
At 3. And so, and then your other two cases, let me just check and see, do we have a hold on her license for other cases? You would have recalled warrants, but you can't recall the hold until we get the community service. I just don't know. On the two of them don't look like they maybe have that, but the speeding might. In the school zone.
I can a payment plan for these two. I can get those taken care
I
of.
have you on a community service order that we just sent you a renewal on because remember we were doing community service? No, you may not have known. I looked and I didn't see that you could afford to pay those. It's quite a bit. But I am looking because, yeah, I think I have a hold on your license in Texas too. For not getting something done, but I'm double checking to see if that statement is correct. Hang on.
Yeah, DPS told me it was it initiated from Virginia is what they told
I
me.
understand, but they can see one layer and then there might be another layer. I'd rather talk to you about it if it's the case. Can you give me a moment to look?
Yes, ma'am.
Doesn't look like holds, does it? I didn't think on the one. But that speeding in the schools, and I wasn't sure because it's. Maybe I didn't see it on that one, but can you double check that? Just had a warrant, right? Okay. All right. So what we have going on is we have, it's a little messy, but we're kind of digging it forward. The school zone charge speeding and the 2 no insurance cases have gone to a community service order. And we mailed that out to you yesterday. So, yeah. And so but the order is because what I was given was you're an assistant manager at CCK, which I don't actually know what that is, but
it's CCF.
Okay. I don't still know what that is, but
I'm an assistant property manager in Temple. It's for the Cesar Chavez Foundation here in
Great.
Temple.
Okay. So and so that plus Social Security, and that you were the income to the home with 3 children. And I didn't see any child support, which isn't used to collect the debt. It's about whether someone might be indigent. I don't know if it's ordered and not paid or never ordered, but in any event.
It's ordered, just not, he doesn't pay. So.
Okay. And then the rent, the bills and everything, to me, this just needed to be a community service thing. I have a list of providers that we're sending you. If you leave the list, it has to be pre-approved. It can't be like, if you work there, you can't be getting paid.
Right.
Or caught up, like if you're salaried, then you can't do it there. So it's just a question of just finding a provider and getting your hours done. How many hours was it? Did she enter the plea? Oh, the license invalid charge? I'm sorry, I'm confused. I think we'll back up and do a step. Sorry, I'm conferring with the clerk to make sure that we're taking the right steps. I had, based on what you provided in written form, I had added the invalid license charge. Here we have it like an open case, so I didn't realize it wasn't. Probably before. Yeah. So, okay. So we're just kind of unraveling a little bit. The invalid license charge had originally been added, and we're going to pull, it can be added later if we choose or you choose, but you're taking a step to see if he's going to be willing to dismiss. So that's going to pull 17 hours off. So it turns into 54. So it's 54 hours with a due date of September 19th. And we sent you a list of places, pre-approval if you leave the list, a set of rules, and a timesheet to keep track of your hours.
Okay, so I do have one concern with that because I'm supposed to be having a surgery. I've had 7 surgeries in the last 2 years in August.
Okay.
Because I do have some family that is willing to help cover the fees because the car that this whole thing started with was my sister. So she's going to be paying back helping me pay these tickets off and things.
Okay.
What the fee be? Because I don't want to promise, the community service hours because I'm having a major procedure and I don't know if I can get them all done before my surgery at the end of August.
Okay, right now, there are 3 cases that are pending the
Mhm.
community service, and that would turn into 1,021.
1,021.
Right, and that's where 54 hours of community service. So
Okay.
while that is pending, you are able to come in and just make a payment and pay it off.
Okay.
But I'm not doing a payment plan because I show an inability.
Yes,
Now,
ma'am.
hold on. Now, with an inability to pay, if you are also unable to do community service and there's a medical reason that is lengthy, I need a doctor's note on
Okay.
that. Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
So what we have is those 3 cases, which are 2 no insurance cases and a speeding charge in a school zone. Those
Mhm.
have already been convicted and it's 54 hours due by September 19th. Your order that you get in the mail is going to say 71, but
Okay.
because we're pulling that invalid license charge back, that's going to be altered and we'll send you an updated one. So just remember that that number is not right. It's 54.
Okay. Yes.
And then we're going to see you on a Zoom pretrial August 1st on that charge at 9.
Yes, ma'am.
And we're going to have you for a final pretrial on both that case and the other one for August 23rd.
Okay. Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
Okay. All right. You're good to go then. Okay.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay. All right. Mr. Matson, where are we with Mr. Jefferson's cases?
So, Your Honor, Mr. Jefferson and I have reached an agreement. And I'm going to, it's kind of multi-step, so I'm going to walk you through it as best I can.
Okay.
The failing to stop at the designated stopping point is being dismissed. And the insurance charge, I am reducing the fine on that before it is placed on a deferral. The terms of that deferral are going to be 120 days. And then Mr. Jefferson is going to submit proof of valid insurance to the court. And he said he can bring that by today when he goes to the court to sign the deferral agreement. Once the reduction has been entered, the total balance is $131, and he wants to pay that in 3 installments of $44 in the first month, $44 in the second month, and $43 in the third month.
Okay. Do we have specific dates for those payments? Or is it just 30 days from today?
Yeah, 30 days from today, and then 30 days from that day, and then 30 days from that day is what I was proposing.
Okay. Do you agree, Mr. Jefferson?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So the prosecutor, just to recap, is dismissing the failed to stop at a proper place charge. And then you are paying the deferral at a reduction of $44, $44, and $43. The first payment is August 22nd. The second payment, $44, September 22nd. And the final payment is October 23rd, because that's a Monday. And you're providing insurance today. But how much insurance is being provided, Mr. Mills?
Your Honor, he said that the insurance is valid through December 27th. So I believe it'll be 6 months of insurance. So I don't think he got it today. I think he got it last month.
Okay, great. That'll work. Just want to make sure I know. Okay, So he'll bring that by today when he comes to sign his deferral
Correct.
and get a copy of his dismissal. Okay?
And then Judge, he also had a question about, there was another charge of
Yes.
failure to control speed, and it looks like he's on community service for that, and he wanted some clarification because he was not aware of that.
Okay. Well, probably if he was unaware of that, he dropped something off and then, I didn't hear from him and I went ahead and made an order. Let me double check. Let me move you forward though with Tamara Wolf. Ms. Wolf, can you unmute?
I'm here.
Great. Let me move you over to that meeting with Mr. Matson, the city's prosecutor.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay. Okay. Mr. Jefferson, July 11th, you came in and filled out a plea form for that charge of failing to control speed, and you filled out a payment application, and you requested community service. I recalled your warrant and I granted that community service. And then let me double check on the amounts of and what's due. I'm looking for hours. That's fine. 26. And it's 26 hours and it's due August 29th. And we mailed that to you. Looks like we mailed that around July 17th. So you should have that today or tomorrow, I would think. If you don't receive it, you can always come by the court and get a copy. Okay.
I come get a copy and
Yeah, when you stop by today, they can print it.
yes, ma'am. I get a copy and I apologize for not knowing what was going on. Like I told him, I wasn't in my right state of mind. They sent my newborn baby home on hospice at 3 months. So I had a lot going on. I still have a lot going on. I apologize, but I will make sure the day that I come up there and get the paperwork and stuff taken care of.
Yeah, we're good. We're solid. I'm sorry you're going through that.
Yes, ma'am. It's okay. I just wanted to make sure that I took care of everything today, but I will be up there in probably less than an hour.
Okay. We can print everything out for you when you're here. Service
All
that
right.
way if something happens.
Yes, ma'am.
Where's your family right now?
Right here in Temple in West off of 317 out here.
Okay.
My baby, he's here right. My baby here right now, but he's getting his therapy. He get like 3 therapies a week.
Okay.
So he's doing okay.
Yeah.
Yes, ma'am.
We'll be thinking about you.
Yes, ma'am. I appreciate it.
Yes, sir. You hang in there. We'll have everything for you here, okay?
Yes, ma'am. Thank you. See y'all soon.
Yes, sir.
All right.
All right. It should be pled in a companion case. But yeah, that might be it. I don't know because I never do that part. Yeah. Okay, we're back on the Wolf case.
Yes, ma'am. I'm here.
Mr. Matson, can we get an update too?
Your Honor, Ms. Wolf was wondering if she is eligible for community service.
A moment. Okay, right now I have a payment application that has income and no bills. So I don't have a way to determine. The general answer is no. Ms. Wolf,
Yes, ma'am.
the payment income information, you listed income, which I got that, and it's a variable. And then on the second page, everything was left blank, that you had no bills. Is that a correct assessment?
No, I have bills.
Okay, well, you left it blank and signed it under oath.
Yeah.
So what's going on with that?
I told her I couldn't see it and I didn't have my glasses.
Okay.
I had just gotten off work.
Are you supposed to wear glasses when you drive?
No, I can't see up close. Like I have to wear glasses on top of contacts in order to read.
Okay. Well, I don't have a way to know whether you're eligible for community service because I don't have enough information. And right now your plea is not guilty. Why don't we just go ahead and move to August 23rd for our in-court date?
Okay.
And maybe you can get this filled out before then and I can look at it and we can look at it again, the case again at that time. We'll see you here
Okay,
August 23rd here in the court.
Okay.
Okay.
At 2 p.m. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye-bye. Mr. Mattson, I don't know. The only no-show I have for you at this point is Luis Angel Rodriguez.
That's what I have as well, Your Honor.
Sorry?
That's what I have as well.
Yeah, he did sign up for pretrial. He also provided insurance, but he didn't qualify for a prosecutor dismissal. He's set for August 23rd at 3:00.
I'll review that just to see what he has so that I know what to expect going in.
Yes. A lot of times people think that if they just drop paperwork off, then it just takes care of itself. And yeah, Ms. Wolf was one where she wasn't eligible for a driving course, but she brought us a driving course because she took it ahead of time, which I consider good faith. I mean, that's not bad faith right there. However, you know, I mean, you're not eligible. So we weren't able to take that step with her.
I guess we'll find out more information whenever she brings in the full financial affidavit.
Yeah, it just always is like one of those things. I'm gonna go